Everybody knows Saturday Night Live, the multi-Emmy winning sketch variety show that's been on since 1975. But how many people know exactly what goes into the making of it? Well, one person who does is Oz Rodriguez. I'm Zach Laws of Gold Derby, and with me now is Oz Rodriguez. He's nominated for creating Saturday Night Live, which gives people a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into making their favorite weekly variety sketch series. First of all, Oz, let me just ask you, this is your second Emmy nomination.
Third.
Third? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
IMDb is a little slow to update these things sometimes. So, I mean, the show gets double-digit nominations every single year. What does that kind of, knowing that your work is getting recognized along with the show, what does that recognition mean for you?
It's amazing for me, just to work with so many talented people. As you said, there's so many nominations every year. Obviously the acting and writing and producing, but also behind the scenes, the directing, wardrobe, makeup, art direction. So many talented people work at SNL that was the whole reason why we wanted to make this show, to shine a light on some of the behind the scenes wizards that work over there.
You've been with the show since 2012.
Yeah.
You've worked on a variety of other things as well, but I mean, you've been with this program for 7 years now. Talk a little bit just about how you came to be put in charge of this specifically. How did you work your way up to it?
Of where my job at the show or the creating SNL?
A little bit of both. I mean, I guess when you got started there, and then when you started doing this, just talk a bit about the trajectory thing.
Sure. I worked at a website called Funny or Die, making sketches, online video sketches. So sort of a training, if you will, for this next job that, out of the blue, I just got a call, say SNL is interested in interviewing you. And it felt like going up to the majors when got the job. I started with my friend Matt, and we were directing videos. The Lonely Island guys had just left, so they were looking for someone to just come and direct videos from all of the writers. That was sort of a spot that the digital short were doing the Lonely Island guys were doing their thing for so long and so well that when they left, it sort of opened that spot on the show for any writer to write a digital short, or a pre-tape as we call them. I was hired as a director, and after being there for a few years and working with these amazing people that get nominated for Emmys every year, because I feel like the best of the best. I would soak as much information from them as possible. And if you watch an SNL documentary, it's usually about Lorne and the history of the show and the cast and the famous hosts that come every week. So I felt like there was a lack of sort of representation of some of the people that work at the show that are so amazing, that are in these sort of behind the scenes departments.
Right. And I mean, I think the viewers can take for granted just how much work goes into putting the show up week after week, because I mean, you've got to have new sets, new costumes, makeup and hair and all this stuff. I mean, give us a sense of the craziness that goes into putting Saturday Night Live on every week.
Sorry, one more time. Was that?
I was at
the craziness.
Yeah, give us a sense of that. I mean, I'm guessing that it must be somewhat of a well-oiled machine after almost 45 years on the air, but there must be, some chaos to the work.
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of, I'd call it organized chaos. It's
right.
It is a well-oiled machine, but every week we're not putting the same show every week, so it's not like a Broadway play where you're putting the same show over and over again, and by the first month everybody's got it dialed down. This is a new production every week, so I'm sure you've sort of seen or heard how the show works. On Tuesday night, the writers stay overnight and write the sketches. On Wednesday, we have the table read. Wednesday night, they pick the sketches that will be part of that show on Saturday. So for Wednesday night, all these departments are just racing to the finish line to get everything together, to get the costumes, to get the makeup aesthetics. In our department, we're trying to figure out how the hell we're going to shoot a video or short film in 2 days. So everybody's sort of racing to the finish line, and we all sort of meet at the station Saturday at 11:30. And it is an insane amount of work that we are asked to do, but it's also the most fun I've ever had on any job.
Is there a bit of chaos to creating Saturday Night Live, or is that...
No, that is definitely
little more structured, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's really fun to just interview like the wardrobe department, and Tom, Eric, and Dale have been there for a little bit, so they have so many stories to tell. And yeah, we definitely take our time in the edit. We're busy with the show, so this is sort of our baby that we do it out of a passion to just share the stories of the people at SNL.
Well, so then for people who have not had a chance to watch your Emmy-nominated episode, can you just give us a little bit of a sense of some of the behind-the-scenes stories that you highlight in this particular one?
Yeah, so we have different episodes. Every episode focuses on a department of the show. For example, the last year we did a wardrobe episode, and we interviewed the costume designers and the head of the wardrobe department. And some of the stories they tell are like horror stories of trying to get a costume flown out from LA to New York in a day, and hoping that it gets there in time so that Gal Gadot can be Wonder Woman on the sketch, or how the choices they make will affect the character and the joke and the performance and ultimately the sketch. So everybody is very integral to sort of the success of the sketch. Like Dale has this story about 80 in a sketch that she had, where she plays a chicken who is in a relationship with Ryan Gosling. So it's, the conversation was like how much chicken, how much 80 is in there. And these are very interesting conversations about costume and wardrobe that ultimately are all done so that the sketch can succeed. Yeah, and we've interviewed Mary Ellen Matthews, the head of photography, and sort of gotten into her process and the music of the show. We've looked into that, like how the live performances get put together, and also the SNL band, all the way up until to our VFX department. Like our digital shorts or pre-tapes have gotten a lot more. I don't even know. I don't know how to describe it. They're a little bit more ambitious. So now we have a VFX department that helps us put together some really cool stuff in a day.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing the number of people who have been with this show for years and years and years, some of them for decades. I mean, last year I talked to a production designer, I think it was, who had worked on the show going all the way back to like the first season. I mean, what do you think it is about this show that, I mean, keeps people wanting to be there for so long?
I mean, if you really love your job, there's nothing as challenging and rewarding as SNL. It really demands the best of people, and I feel like that's why the best people end up working there. It's just a creative challenge like no other place at all. You have to do premium work in 0 time. So I think it's an amazing job, and it's an amazing creative challenge too, if you're lucky to have it.
And I guess especially now, I mean, considering how acclaimed the show has been in recent years, having to do with just sort of the craziness of the news and the world in general. I mean, it must be especially satisfying to see so many people heralding, the show in a way that, it might not have been in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely feels a little different than when I started. I feel like the conversation in general, everything has changed a little bit, but it's crazy to wake up on Sunday and watch some of the new shows, and they're talking about the sketch that you shot a few hours ago. So it's definitely, I think this crazy world has made SNL even more relevant, and I don't get it myself. I think we're all trying to process it.
I mean, has it made it even more hectic in a sense? Because I mean, you guys, the show has always had its finger on the button, you know what I mean, on the pulse of what's going on. But considering, I mean, just how much day by day things change, and these crazy things that, I mean, every single time something silly happens in the world, the first thing that people say is, all right, who's playing this character on Saturday Night Live? Have they gotten called out to whatever guest stars? I mean, has it made it even more, I guess, hectic to put the show on each week?
Yeah, probably so. I think it's already a really crazy thing that we do, but since the news cycle moves so fast, and things are happening Friday night, so the show should address on Saturday. So even Saturday, the day or afternoon, there's things that happen that the show sort of has to try to address that night. So yeah, a really hard job got a little harder.
Well, I'm sure it's always fun, or else you still wouldn't be there. Waz, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your third Emmy nomination. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in this conversation. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thanks to all you at home for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below, and make sure you visit us at goldderby.com for all the latest Emmy news.